Well, now to our big story tonight. It was standing room only at the Ben Franklin Transit Board of Directors meeting last night. Two big items on the agenda held the community's attention for sure. New at 6, Apple Valley News Now's Monique Ledesma in studio with more on what the public had to say.
Thanks, Austin. Last night's meeting agenda listed a number of things that the public had to say about. From hiring a new general manager after the resignation of Rochelle Glazier to the Pasco Transit City Hub. But the 4-hour-long meeting centered around BFT's talk of cutting the sales tax collection and the future of the Dollar Ride program.
There's too much to lose and too little to gain by reducing the transit local sales tax revenue. So I ask you to reject this proposal and show that we care about all people in our community.
Some members of Ben Franklin Transit Board are asking the public to consider cutting the agency's local sales tax. The cut would allow that money to go towards other projects in an individual area. If that area asks voters to approve a tax for those projects such as aging infrastructure or upgrades in other areas. The reduction proposal calls for a 0.1% reduction. While it would save taxpayers some money, it also could mean a huge loss in revenue for BFT. Around $130 million for some public commenters, that's just not worth it.
Saving them $20 a year by this tax being cut. So this hardly seems worth it with the loss of jobs and services that would result. One of the things that makes me feel good about our community is that we have a good transit system. And to me, that says we care about everyone. And we want to help them and help them to flourish. And this also helps our businesses and our health.
Reducing the sales tax could also mean service cuts, which also means local job cuts that could also put other fundings provided by the state at risk. This also would include putting the Dollar Ride program in jeopardy, something that was brought up at a meeting earlier this year. But it's not just single riders or employees that would experience the hardship, some said.
Many students and families rely on BFT out of necessity, not of convenience. BFT supplements school district provided transportation, giving students without other means the ability for 0-hour, running start, and connected regional higher education institutions.
According to the Citizens Advisory Network, a reduction in the sales tax could also mean a rise in fare prices to offset the transit losses.
Right now, the board is considering reducing their tax that they take in by 0.1%. Right now, they are obligated by voters who agreed a number of years ago to take 0.6% tax, sales tax, and that funds the transit. However, by removing our 0.1% tax, that reduction will have lots of downstream effects.
Others from last night say reducing the sales tax would have lasting effects on the community as a whole.
Youth Ride Free program accounts for a significant portion of passenger trips, with a substantial increase observed in recent months. However, any reduction in funding will not only limit services, but also disenfranchise a large percentage of school-age riders who rely on BFT for flex access to transportation service beyond the school district provides. Sustaining funding for BFT isn't about maintaining bus routes. It's about upholding values of equity and access, ensuring every member of our community has the opportunity to thrive. Let's stand together in support of Ben Franklin Transit, for it's not just a transportation service, but a lifeline to those who need it most.
Last night, the board decided to put a delay on the sales tax reduction on the November's ballots until a decision is made on the statewide carbon tax. The next BFT Board of Directors meeting is set to be May 9th at 6 p.m. We will continue to bring you updates on this story as our calls are returned. Reporting in Kennewick, Monique Ledesma, Apple Valley News Now.
Monique on location, not in the studio. Thank you for that. Have a good weekend. Now, we asked Ben Franklin Transit yesterday for comments or information on these items on the agenda, but they said they don't have a comment right now. We also reached out to them this morning to ask about the outcome of the meeting. Our calls have not yet been returned, and we reached out to one commissioner who is a big supporter of this reduction. We are also waiting to hear back from him.